And everyone is here with me now. Paul Rieckhoff, President Trump getting a peace prize, not the peace prize, right? And I don't think there's really any effort by FIFA to make this anything other than what it is. How does it sit with you how all this is playing out?
I want to thank you for having me on the greatest panel in the history of the world.
Does it give you joy to be sitting here tonight?
It does, tremendous joy, and I'm so infinitely grateful, and thank you for stopping hurricanes. I think it's ridiculous, it's shameful, it's beneath the office, it's gross, it's also dangerous. Because I think it's a very effective manifestation of the growth of his propaganda machine. He continues to expand his reach to the country and to the world and basically battle the truth. I mean, he's getting a peace prize that he made up for himself or was made up for him while he's simultaneously hitting alleged drug boats and threatening war on Venezuela. And he's also continuing to expand his reach because this was on Fox Sports. That's not insignificant. He continues to go back to Fox Sports. He went there for the NFL. He understands that culture and sports are a way to get to more people. He's doing, well, he has OWN and he has Newsmax, and now he has a propaganda press corps at the Department of Defense that's pushing this message. And it's all coming together on the biggest platform in the world. FIFA itself has its own corruption problems, right. But we're going to have the entire world watching us. And the entire world knows about this. And I think approaches it with skepticism. It looks like the White House is for sale. I mean, this war was so ridiculous. He actually put it on himself, right? Like no one put it on him. He picked it up and put it on himself. And I think it's making a mockery of the office and of our country on what might be the biggest stage he's ever seen. This is going to be like the Berlin Olympics.
Yeah, when you talk about FIFA, soccer, right? So, around the world, obviously, I'm sure everyone watching knows this, right? I mean, that is the biggest stage that there is, as Paul says.
And FIFA also brings together so many different people from different backgrounds, and traditionally, sports are apolitical. And it's actually where folks from different sides of the aisles, different nationalities, kind of leave their differences at the arena and just enjoy the game for what it is. And so you're seeing not only a politicization that goes deep within our country and partisan divides, and I think a politicization of the military, but also of sports. I think just the fact that FIFA rolled out this 2025 Peace Prize. I mean, who's going to be nominated next year? Like, will there even be a second one?
Well, I mean, could anyone imagine, Roger Goodell from the NFL coming out and giving Trump a Peace Prize from the NFL, right? I mean, such a thing is absurd.
Well, I think it's so absurd. And I think to what Paul was saying, it is so embarrassing that so many people are doing this. And to see, you played that clip of all the cabinet officials going around thanking Donald Trump for, just being in the room. And it's like, if Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Bush did this, I mean, we'd be ridiculed. For that. And that's just not a serious meeting.
Well, none of them, and I guess that's the reality. None of them would have done that. I mean, Shelby, from all your reporting, obviously you're reporting on the White House for Semaphore, you have seen how hard the head of FIFA has worked to ingratiate himself with Trump, right? I mean, and actually, as you point out, Infantino actually got an award himself from Vladimir Putin back in 2019, at which point he said, it is only the beginning of our fruitful cooperation and interaction. So he knows how to use a moment like this.
Absolutely. And he's been cultivating this. He began to be close with President Trump in his first term. So this has been really years in the making. And I think part of the reason that you're seeing this flattery is because he's seen that this works, right? I've talked a lot about all of these world leader meetings, and all of these world leader meetings they're watching each other and they see what works. They see what doesn't work, right? They see when the Ukrainian president went and was a little bit hostile towards the president, that did not end up as a very good meeting. So you've seen everybody who meets with Trump and becomes friendly with Trump, they adjust how they act towards him. And I think one of the reasons that FIFA is getting so close to Trump is also because, as you said, this is a huge event. And there is so much going on in the world as it relates to the United States. When you're talking about Canada and Mexico, there are the tariffs. There is President Trump who has said that he might go into Mexico to bomb the drug cartels. There's all of these things going on. And the closer that FIFA can get to President Trump, the easier it will be for them to make sure that this event goes on smoothly.
I mean, the cognitive dissonance is really quite incredible, Paul. It's also, when you think about it, I mean, just a moment that we can all sit there. There's no one watching this, and I don't care what your political point of view is, who doesn't see this for what it is. The head of FIFA wanted to make Trump happy, so he gave him a peace prize and a bunch of gold. So did the crown from South Korea, the golf balls, Tim Cook statue. All of these people know what they're doing.
They do, and they should be ashamed. I mean, it's obvious that they're bending the knee because they want favor or they see a business interest. But I think it's really important to understand this is a very shrewd and effective strategy by Trump to politicize and manipulate sports. On 9/11, he didn't go to the 9/11 memorial. He met with the New York Yankees. A week or two ago, he was at an NFL game. This weekend, he'll be at the Army-Navy game, which will be broadcast on CBS to millions of people. Right. He understands that sports, UFC is another example. He keeps doubling down on sports because it's a way to expand his reach. It's a way to get to people who aren't as involved in politics and aren't watching the news every day. And it's working because it's normalizing it. And it's normalizing things like this to people who might not be tracking on
Does that work? I mean, Shelby, do you see, is that part of a strategy that they're doing that they somehow believe will in some way expand his base?
I think that they saw that that's exactly what happened in the 2024 election. I covered President Trump across the campaign trail, and he went to a ton of sporting events. He went to the UFC events. He went to the football events. He went to college campuses. And that works because you're targeting a lot of voters who are not necessarily, going out and voting in every single election, but they like that aspect. They like that a president is coming there. And so that was really successful. When I talked to Trump's campaign aides, they point to that as one of the main reasons that he was successful in expanding the base. And so he's absolutely continuing it.
But it works, but also to the extent that I think we have to take a step back and realize Trump's polling is the worst it's ever been. And in theory, he's not going to be on the ballot in 2028. So he has a lot of rehab to do of his own reputation. I think going to these events is that is smart. Politically, that is a smart thing to do. But also, I mean, he did that during the campaign, and yet still his numbers are so low. And that's also because he's not talking about issues that Americans care about. I think, seeing this Peace Prize, someone that's struggling to buy groceries, someone that's, maybe juggling 2 or 3 jobs. They're looking at this and they're like, well, what about gas prices? What about grocery prices? I actually voted for you because you came into office promising that you were going to lower them, and you haven't.
And it's stagecraft. I mean, that he's the master of that, right? And he keeps ensuring that the crowd supports him, right? When he went to Yankee Stadium on 9/11, he knew he was going to get a favorable response. This weekend, he's going to be at the Army-Navy game. It's going to look like the entire crowd is supporting him and cheering for him.
And we'll see what
so
the
he's
response
setting up the conditions to make him look much more popular than he is.
Right. And I'll note on 9/11, he also went to an event at the Pentagon, then, of course, up to the Yankees, as you say. But when we talk about, the context here, the peace plan from Russia, that came out. Today, Trump has a 33-page document, and it lays out what is America's new national security plan. And, there's details in there, but then there's this overarching reality, which is a pretty stunning thing for Americans to realize. It blames European officials for blocking American efforts to end the Ukraine war, as the Trump administration sees it, and specifically calls for reestablishing strategic stability with Russia. Sabrina, what do you make of the timing of this?
Well, the timing is, it's quite interesting that it comes on the heels of this administration presenting a 28-point peace plan to Ukraine that was basically a complete capitulation of the country. And so by some of what is in that national strategic strategy, it's really setting up Russia not to be the aggressor, but actually to be someone that maybe the United States could potentially work with. And I thought that was really stark, and that was something that it was very different from the Biden administration, where we did see Russia as an aggressor, where we did see Russia as an entity that was a threat to our national security. And to put the blame on European countries and basically say that you're hindering peace, it's like, give me a break. Like, Russia invaded Ukraine, and it's a threat not only to Ukrainian sovereignty, but European national security and, frankly, American security interests. And so it was disturbing.
What's at stake?
Global peace. Rewarding our enemies. This is the latest item on Putin's wish list. Putin couldn't write something.
Right, reestablishing strategic stability with Russia.
It's compromising our alliances in Europe. It's undermining NATO. It's selling out Ukraine again. And I think continuing to lack focus on China, which is still the biggest adversary on the chessboard. So this is great for our enemies and bad for America's national security, and consistent with what he's been doing throughout his administration so far.
And just on that note, just to piggyback on that, we're pulling resources out of the Indo-Pacific, and we are concentrating more on the homeland, and that's fine. I think we can have a conversation about the Western Hemisphere and beefing up some of our capabilities here. But the fact that you're going to pull some of those capabilities out of Indo-PACOM and move them, whether it be to the Middle East or in Southcom area of responsibility, that is going to impact China, and China's watching it all. And we have to think about what their next move is.
Well, any open oxygen is immediately consumed. All right, thank you all very much. I appreciate it.